Freedom House, a Washington, D.C.-based nonprofit organization, has meticulously documented a staggering 1,219 instances of transnational repression perpetrated by 48 governments across 103 countries between 2014 and 2024. This alarming figure represents a global assault on dissent, with a significant concentration of these attacks originating from a smaller subset of nations. China stands out as the most prolific offender, accounting for a substantial 272 incidents, a disconcerting 22% of all recorded cases. This highlights the scale of China's global reach in suppressing opposition, extending its repressive tactics far beyond its borders. The sheer volume of documented incidents underscores the systematic nature of China's efforts to silence dissent, impacting individuals and communities worldwide. Russia, Turkey, and Egypt also feature prominently among the worst perpetrators of transnational repression, demonstrating a concerning pattern of authoritarian regimes utilizing extraterritorial methods to silence critics. Their actions highlight the increasingly interconnected nature of global repression, where geographical boundaries offer little protection for those targeted by powerful states. This interconnectedness necessitates a coordinated international response to effectively counter these tactics and protect vulnerable individuals. The gravity of this situation demands immediate and concerted efforts from the international community to uphold democratic values and human rights. High-profile cases serve to illustrate the chilling reality of transnational repression. The 2018 assassination of journalist Jamal Khashoggi within the Saudi Arabian consulate in Istanbul remains a stark example of the lengths to which some governments will go to eliminate their critics. This brazen act, committed on foreign soil, sent shockwaves across the globe and highlighted the vulnerability of journalists and dissidents operating outside the protective reach of their home countries. The international community's response, or lack thereof, to such egregious acts speaks volumes about its commitment to accountability. Similarly, Russian President Vladimir Putin's documented targeting of his adversaries in the United Kingdom showcases the blatant disregard for international norms and sovereignty displayed by certain authoritarian leaders. The 2006 polonium poisoning of Alexander Litvinenko, followed by a series of more than a dozen other suspicious deaths of Russians on British soil, strongly suggests a pattern of state-sponsored assassination. These incidents raise serious concerns about the impunity enjoyed by certain actors operating outside the constraints of international law. The continued lack of accountability for these actions emboldens further such acts, necessitating urgent action from the targeting of journalists has also emerged as a significant aspect of transnational repression. In 2023, The Guardian reported on a campaign of offensive messages and threats of sexual assault directed at journalists at the BBC Persian news outlet. This disturbing development underscores the vulnerability of media professionals working to expose abuses of power. Furthermore, the March 2024 stabbing of an Iran International presenter outside his home in Wimbledon, South London, highlights the willingness of some regimes to employ violence to silence critical voices, even on foreign soil. The Uyghur community in China faces a particularly brutal form of transnational repression. This predominantly Muslim ethnic group is subjected to sustained monitoring, threats, and policing by Chinese authorities, both within China. The discovery in 2022 of a spyware campaign targeting Uyghurs through seemingly innocuous Android applications, including messaging services, exposed the sophisticated methods employed by the Chinese government to track and suppress its population. Reports of Chinese students abroad being watched and followed further underscore the global reach of this repressive campaign. The systematic nature of the persecution necessitates a global effort to hold China accountable. Allegations of China operating secret police stations globally to monitor and repress opponents of the ruling Communist Party further compound these concerns. The discovery of an illegal Chinese police station operating from an office in New York in 2023 served as a stark reminder of the lengths to which China is willing to go to exert its control over its citizens, regardless of their location. The targeting of Tibetans and Hong Kongers adds to the disturbing pattern of extraterritorial repression employed by the Chinese government. These actions necessitate robust international cooperation to counter such blatant violations of international law and protect vulnerable communities. The scale and severity of these actions necessitate a coordinated international response to challenge these abuses of power.